Hello, welcome to this short live information session about how you can get into medicine and dentistry with the Access Project's Medicine and Dentistry Society. My name's Beth, I'm from Access HE, and I'll just be chairing this session today. It's going to be really short, probably wouldn't take half an hour. Firstly, Ellie from the Access Project is going to kick us off by giving you a run through of what you can expect when you join the Medicine and Dentistry Society, before we just go to a quick Q&A with you to get all of your answers to your questions. So at any point, if you do have questions, post them in the chat. We can answer them in the time that we have. So without further ado, over to you, Ellie.
Hi everybody, I'm Ellie from the Access Project. What we want to offer you is the chance to be part of a society that supports students that want to study medicine and dentistry. So this is for Year 12 students. They will come from schools all across London and the West Midlands and the East Midlands. And what we try and aim to achieve is really supporting students through the different stages of the application. So this is everything from understanding the UCAS form to what to put in your personal statement, to how many choices of medicine and dentistry courses you can do and what else you put on your UCAS forms, to the extra elements that medicine and dentistry courses require, which are the admissions tests and the interviews, as well as encouraging you in other areas to kind of push you that little bit further than your A-level course, to really get you prepared for those different elements of the course. So briefly, if I run through the different types of events that we offer. So first of all, we'd have an introduction to medicine and dentistry. So this would just be a presentation on different elements of the application, but also a couple of things that you should really be sort of starting to do now and getting really prepared on. So that one's the first. Then we'll be looking at doing a healthcare sector workshop. So this is very much based around the healthcare team, what this means, what other healthcare careers and courses are out there for you. So just making sure you're making the exact right decision, but also getting you to really understand the nature of the healthcare team, as that often is a really important part of interviews. And also within that, what we do is we introduce you, in this weird virtual world, but we introduce you to a couple of different healthcare professionals, and you'll just get a chance to have a networking session with them. So you get a really good range of medical professionals to really understand what they do and how they work with their teams. Then we move on to a mentoring session. So this is quite a new part of our programme, and we offer 2 group mentoring sessions throughout the year. These will be based around really trying to push the students, but also encourage you in certain areas of that we feel are really important for the application. So these would be in groups of around 6 to 8 with myself or one of my colleagues. This would be, so the first one is around the healthcare team, and also looking at getting you closer to answering the really, really difficult question of why you want to do medicine or dentistry and why you want to be a doctor or a dentist. Because that's a really hard, it seems like an easy question, but it's a really difficult question. So we're just trying to help you get towards those answers. So that's the first mentoring session. Then between the first mentoring session and the second mentoring session, we have a medical ethics workshop. Medical and dentistry ethics are quite an important part of the interview stage. You'll always be asked something about an ethical scenario, because this is a really important part of your course going forwards. So that will be a workshop there. And then, as I said, we have the next mentoring session. So this will be based around medical ethics. So we'll be encouraging you to debate on certain ethical issues, and really trying to put forward the argument of how you build the best argument possible, but also how do you use the specific medical ethics pillars to create the best answer possible for when it comes around to the interviews. Then we move into our admissions test period. So this is where we'll be giving you access to BMAT and UCAT workshops. So we will run these basically to really prepare you for some pretty tough tests. So this is really important and such a crucial element of our provision. So these will take place, and this is kind of around June, July time of your year 12 year. And then the final thing we move on to is interview preparation. So that interview preparation won't happen until your year 13 autumn. So this normally happens in around November time. So this is where we'll introduce you to what it's like to sit in an MMI, which is a particular type of interview. But within that, you'll also get asked particular interview questions, which you get asked at panel interview and within the MMI itself. So this just gives you a really good experience to try and do a mock interview before your real thing. So that is a kind of a very quick whistle-stop tour of the Medicine and Dentistry Society. So I will hand back to Beth after that.
Thanks, Ellie. That was really useful. There's a few questions that we've got for you. Firstly, is it free?
Yes, so this is a free programme. So this is free through Access HE. So all you need to do is basically show up for these events and reap the benefits of of all the volunteers and the professionals that we get to come to these events. So yes, it is absolutely free.
Great, good to know. So how often are sessions? How many are there across the year?
So what you're looking at is 5 events in your year 12 year. So those started from January and they go to also on top of that, you get 2 mentoring sessions. One is in March and one is in April. And then finally, those mock interviews happen sort of November of your year 13 year.
Okay, cool. And obviously it's all online. I'm sure in person you'd probably be doing full days of events and some really interesting stuff. But how long do people have to join for these online sessions?
So there's a range of times. For the most part, what our events look like are on a weekday after school. They will range anywhere from an hour to 2 hours maximum. We know how tough it is to sit on a computer on an online session for too long. So we make sure that those sessions are as interactive as possible. Obviously, it's not quite the same as an in-person session, but we're doing our best to make sure that you're getting as much out of it as possible. And then there will be some events that might be slightly longer. And so those we're looking at the admissions tests. Those will be slightly longer workshops. The BMAT workshop is normally 2 to 2.5 hours. And that will be on a Saturday. And then the UCAT workshop tends to be more of a day session, also on a Saturday, but with loads of breaks, I promise. But it's just the UCAT is a very long exam with lots of different sections. So we want to give you as much preparation time as possible with it. So it's a bit of a range, but most of them will be short weekdays after school.
Oh, good to know. And for a student that might not be certain that this is an avenue they really want to go down, is this something still for them?
Absolutely. I think it's a really important decision to choose whether you want to do medicine or dentistry. And a lot of students I've worked with are not 100% sure. And that is so normal and absolutely fine. One aim that we try and get out of the Medicine and Dentistry Society is to encourage other options as well. So if you're really passionate about science, or you're really looking to help people and you think going down the healthcare route is potentially something for you, this is a way of encouraging you to do medicine and dentistry, but also highlighting that maybe that's not exactly for you, but there might be a similar career that is. And I mentioned our healthcare workshop, and that way you get to meet a range of professionals is so useful to kind of get you really understanding what different careers are out there and also how that might fit you better. So I think it's a really good opportunity if you're passionate about science and you're really passionate about helping people, but you don't necessarily need to come out of it going, medicine or dentistry is absolutely for me. You can absolutely go a different way. This just hopefully is a really good series of events that will help you through your application regardless of the subject you end up applying for.
Yeah, that's really good advice, I think. And, you know, the healthcare sector has so many different kinds of jobs in it. It's difficult to know where to go. So I'm sure that's really useful. And I guess off the back of that, what do you think the kind of qualities that make a really good medicine or dentistry or healthcare student?
I think, firstly, they've got to have the drive and the passion for science. This is a really, really important part of particularly medicine and dentistry. This is an academic course when you go to university to study it. And if you don't have a real passion for science, you may find it quite tough. You also do need quite a lot of empathy and the willingness to help people. This kind of is across a lot of healthcare careers. So not just medicine and dentistry, but things like nursing, radiography, things like this. It means that you will be actively working with people. So you always need to have that passion that you do want to help people, and you also want to work with people, because that is a big part of what you're going to do. If you are passionate about science, but actually you're not sure on the people side, there is so many other healthcare related subjects that you can do. So this is things like biochemistry, bioengineering. You've got biomedical engineering as well. You've also got everything from neurology to neuroscience to other lab-based sciences, like just studying straight chemistry or biology. So there's so many options out there. So you need to think quite carefully about where you fit in those passions. Other skills that you really need is teamwork. This is a really, really important part of being a healthcare professional, and you always have to show that. So it's really useful to start building a bank of examples that that you might have for, you know, that time that you've worked in a team and something really successful has come out of it, or that you worked in a team but something didn't go to plan. What happened then? Those are the sorts of things you really need to start getting down and making sure you know that you've got an example to pull on for that. Then finally, I'd just say ambition and determination. This is a really tough course and career to go into. It is a very rewarding and absolutely fantastic career, but you do have quite a long way to go before you are a fully fledged doctor or dentist. So you do need that drive and that ambition to get you there. Your university degree will be a minimum of 5 years. It will be 6 years if you do a foundation course. So that's quite a long course, whereas most other courses at university will be 3, perhaps 4. You've also got a lot of continued development after those years of university. You do your foundation years at a hospital, then you move into your speciality. So that can sometimes take anywhere between 3 to 7 years after leaving university until you are a specialist in the area you want to be. So whether that's a GP or a consultant or a dentist. So it is really important to have that passion and that drive to get you there.
Wow, yeah, absolutely. That sounds, it sounds like people can start getting those skills here with this society. So great. Okay, I think that's everything from us, Ellie. Thank you so much. That's really, really useful.
No problem.